Decomposition and the Effects of Light by Marilyn DeLong. Decomposition and why it's important. Decomposition is the process of breaking down a material, usually organic, over time. Decomposition is important to our ecosystem because it breaks down matter that would take up space as well as put nutrients back into our soil. Because of this understanding, knowing how decomposition works and what effect it has is crucial knowledge we need to understand. How does light impact decomposition? Many factors play a role in the rate of decomposition. Things such as temperature, moisture, insects, and many other factors can change the rate of decomposition. But what about light? Light tends to be an overlooked factor when it comes to decomposition rate because we associate it with growth, which is the opposite of decomposition. But light does play a role in the decomposition process, and my hypothesis is that exposure to light will speed up the rate of decomposition. The experiment. To test my hypothesis, I created two groups that had a variety of items to test the rate that light has on decomposition. The materials for the experiment were plastic spoons, plastic wrappers, notebook paper, a metal nail, a wood chip, a banana, pork rinds, leaf, straw, and a compostable spoon. To test in the two groups, the controls for each was that they both had 10 air holes, were in a 70-degree Fahrenheit room, and each week would receive 10 milliliters of water. The independent variable was the light. With the control group, it was by a window with access to sunlight, and in the experimental, it was kept in a dark area with no access to light. For my dependent variable, each week on Sunday, I would examine each item in the box and write down what I observed and what changed in each group from the previous week. Here is the start of week 1. On week 2, we noticed that the banana and pork rinds were slowly starting to decompose. The bananas was getting brown, while with the control group, the pork rind was getting white and fuzzy, and in the experimental group, which was the no light group, it was turning green and brown. On week 3, in the light group, the banana was completely green and the pork rind was completely white and fuzzy. While on the no light group, the banana wasn't as green, but it was turning darker, and instead of the pork rinds turning fuzzy white, it started to become sticky-like and dark and brown. Week 4, same thing happening with the pork rind and the banana, but we also start noticing that the leaves and the nails were starting to decompose. The nails were becoming more rusty and the leaves were turning brown. Week 5, we saw the leaves become even darker. Week 6, we noticed that on both of them, each leaf was completely brown now. And we noticed as well, the bananas and pork rinds are starting to completely go away. With the light group, you can still notice it's there, but it's very much like it's been picked at. While with the no light group, you can see that there's still some color left to it. Week 7, we noticed that on the no light group that the wood was starting to become more brown. Not brown, green. Week 8, we noticed that a bit more. Here's the pie graph of the decomposition rate. With the light, we had 4 out of the 10 items show decomposition signs, while in the no light group, we saw 5 out of 10. And here's the rate of how it happened. The no light got a little bit more compared to the light group. But they did not change speed really. Final thoughts. For my experiment, I was able to see that though the speed of decomposition was not affected by the light, I was able to see that the organic material was affected at how it decomposed due to the light. The study disproves my hypothesis, but it gives me a new one which is light affects how material will decompose. Though my experiment can't be foolproof due to weather affecting how much light the control group got and how everything was closer together could have potentially messed with the results, such as there was being signs of decomposition on the wood in the no light group compared to the light group. The experiment does give us a better understanding as to how light affects decomposition rate, and we should look more into its role in decomposition as a whole.